Hey, so I decided to make one last video this month, and it will be the long-awaited, probably not long-awaited, review of Dinosauria episodes 3 and 4. Episode 3 being A More Ancient Spring, and episode 4 being Sea and Sky. I've watched both animated shorts and both making of videos. Anyways, so yeah, A More Ancient Spring. The plot is about uh it's the season for mating and laying eggs and having children and all that. Spring. So every animal has gotten together. The Parasaurolophus, the Corythosaurus, the Ankylosauruses, the Chasmosaurs, even the Gorgosauruses, all except this one lone male Lambeosaur. Now, the Lambeosaurus calls for a mate, and then he gets a response. He goes and he picks up a gift, which is a rock, to give to the female Lambeosaurus, as is customary. He gets there and he finds out that a male Gorgosaurus has killed the female Lambeosaurus, and he drags her body off into the wilderness. And the male Lambeosaurus is left, alone. What I assume to be some months passing by, because like every day the Lambeosaurus goes out and calls for a mate, and he returns without one. And this happens for a long time, so much so that all the other animals have laid their eggs and made their nests already, except for the Lambeosaurus. He goes back to his spot to lie down. He sleeps, and then he wakes up one morning, and he hears another Lambeosaurus call, way out in the distance. So he starts running. He starts running into the wilderness towards the female Lambeosaurus call he heard. He passed by a female Gorgosaurus taking care of her nest. He has a small altercation with her, but passes by without a scratch. She doesn't chase him because she has better things to do, like taking care of eggs. And he gets there. He sees the female Lambeosaurus. They meet up, and they finally have found each other. And that's how it ends. They find each other. They now live together. And what I really like about it is that none of the animals are portrayed as either good or bad. Like, yeah, they have sort of relatable problems. I say sort of because not everyone has a problem of wanting to meet a girl and then finding out she got murdered by someone. But, yeah. The Gorgosaurus that killed the female Lambeosaurus in the beginning actually was not painted as a villain, because we see later on that he killed the female Lambeosaurus to impress a mate. And that is really cool that they have all these different sort of behaviors on and customs on attracting mates and making nests and all that. The male Gorgosaurus rakes the ground with his claws, while presenting a large kill to a female. The Lambeosaurus presents gifts to their mates. The Corythosaurs bow to each other. You know, stuff like that. Uh, None of those animals are portrayed as being good or bad, and I like that. They could have. He could have easily made the Gorgosaurus the villain, but the Gorgosaurus wasn't the villain at all. Just another link in the food web. Just another part of the world that these animals lived in. Now, the creator did say in his making of video that one problem he had was making the, well, not problem, I would say, but one thing that he said was that he made the dinosaurs a little too personified. And I'm A-okay with that. One of my favorite dinosaur documentaries is Dinosaur Revolution, and they characterized the heck out of the dinosaurs while still making it, believable and natural in a way. But yeah, with A More Ancient Spring, I give it an 8 or 9 out of 10. Okay, with Sea and Sky. Sea and Sky was a shorter one, about as long as the first episode, which was Old Buck. And it was pretty cool. So you have this stormy sort of day. It's raining, there's lightning and stuff. There are a bunch of pterosaurs just looking down to the shore from a cliff, from a rocky cliff. And they are a bunch of female pterosaurs. And then the big male comes in. He's got a huge red head with a big orange crest, and it looks so nice. I like the designs and how much sexual dimorphism there is between the male and females. So the male, which is supposedly the leader of the harem, kind of like some other animals, like elephant seals have harems. But anyways, the big male comes to the edge of the cliff, then dives into the water to fish, because all the other ones aren't confident enough to fish, because, there are predators in the water. Like these sharks, and also a mosasaur. Now, the male grabs a fish. He is about to ascend, but the mosasaur sort of blocks his path. He manages to ascend to the top of the water, and just as he is getting up off of the water and flying away, the mosasaur leaps out of the water and almost catches the male. That looked like it was awesome, and it had a lightning strike in the background, so it looked badass. It looked like a really cool wallpaper. Like, that was a really cool moment. Like, if anyone wants a really cool wallpaper for their desktop, just screen cap that moment in the video. But anyways, the male flies out. All the females are now confident enough to fish, and they all fish. And the male goes up back to his perch on the top of the cliff and stands there looking down at his harem all fishing together. And it's really cool. Like, it is one of the better, well, I say better, it was one of the best animations ever. I'd say it is right up there with our Frozen past. You know, about a 10 out of 10. There are some inaccuracies, though, as said in the making of video. He animates them as digitigrade, means they're walking on their toes, when fossil evidence says otherwise. Fossil evidence, they found some trackways of pterosaurs and found that pterosaurs were plantigrade. They walked on their entire foot, the heel and the toes. So, yeah, digitigrade means that they walk on their toes. Plantigrade means that they walk on their heels and toes like people. And unguligrade means they walk on their tippy toes like horses. Anyways, it is one of the best animations in this series, and I love it. Also, in the making of video, he also states that one of the pterosaurs in the harem is actually a sneaky male that is too immature to look like the other male. Because if you look, he has a slightly different shaped crest. It just hasn't grown in yet, and he hasn't got that red head yet. And that's a really, really cool detail, because that's what happens in other animal groups that have a harem sort of structure to it. You have the inferior males pretending to be females so that they could get with them. So without the bigger male, without the bigger male seeing. That's really cool. So, yeah, as I said before, A More Ancient Spring gets 8 or 9 out of 10. Sea and Sky gets a 10 out of 10. So, I'll review episode 5 when it comes out. And I think that might be the end of them. I don't know. I hope that won't be the end of him. I hope he will make a season 2 after making episode 5 sometime. Though I know that some people want him to go back to making other videos in other series, like Autodale. Yeah, like the Autodale series. So, anyways, those are my reviews of episode 3 and 4 of Dinosauria, made by David Arnsby. Bye.